So, good day class. So, rationalization na tayo ng human rights education. The video would we having a first part and second part. So, mag-second part na muna tayo. This is 51 to 100. Yung first part is 1 to 50. So, I've been waiting for, alam nyo na, may kahati ako dito. So, wala pang sinisend sa akin. So, dito tayo, i-rationalize natin to. Exams natin. Okay, for 51, what is the legal minimum age requirement for employment in the Philippines? So, we all know that it's 18 years old. So, it's common knowledge na. That is C. 2. What organization in the Philippines is primarily responsible for the welfare and protection of children's rights? So, no other than DSWD. Of course, that's A. Aralin nyo rin mabuti to kasi hindi naman to ganun kasunod-sunod sa mismong exam. Okay? 3. What law in the Philippines aims to protect the women's rights against violence, particularly against women and their children? So, alam naman natin that is RA 9262 because Republic Act 8353 is the rape law. Okay? So, what significant event occurred on March 8, which observed globally as International Women's Day? So, yung recognition ng women in their right to vote. So, that's D. 5. What does the RA Republic Act 7610 in the Philippines stand for concerning the rights of the children? So, that's Special Protection of Children Against Abuse, Exploitation, and Discrimination Act. 56. So, alam naman natin na kailangan situational. In factory, several workers have complained about being forced to work overtime without proper compensation. Despite raising this issue to the management, no action has been taken. What labor principle is being violated in this situation? So, that is yung 8-hour workday. It's on the case of Mercado versus Ama Computer College East Rizal, which this case also highlighted ng importansya ng tamang papapasweldo pati sa mga overtime pay. And let's go with 57. A female employee has been continuously harassed by her superior in the workplace. Kahit na i-report niya na yung harassment sa HR, wala pa ring action na ginawa dun sa issue na yon. So, anong legal recourse ang isang employee na pwede niya magawa based on Philippine law? So, he could pursue a case under Republic Act 7877 or Anti-Sexual Harassment Act. Okay, class. Harassment, okay, sexual harassment ay kailangan may moral ascendancy. So, kailangan mas mataas siya sa'yo, either boss mo, dean nyo, professor nyo, coach nyo. Walang sexual harassment kapag katrabaho mo lang o same level mo lang. Bawa, classmate mo lang. So, walang sexual harassment sa ganon. Kaya kapag nakakita kayo ng situational na ang nangharas sa kanya is classmate o kaya katrabaho, then that's not sexual harassment. It is also based on the case of ang Tibay versus Court of Industrial Relations. So, itong case na to ay pinakita ang importansya ng pagprotekta sa mga kababaihan laban sa harassment sa kanilang pinagtatrabahuan. And it also established a legal precedence for addressing such case under relevant laws. Let's go with 58. A child found working in hazardous condition at construction site. What legal provisions in the Philippines protects the rights of the child, and what action can be taken to ensure their welfare? So, kung ang mga bata nagtatrabaho sa isang workplace, 'di ba? Ano ang batas na nagpoprotekta laban sa kanila dito, no? Sa construction site, which is napakadelikado niyan, okay? So, they can invoke the RA 7610 or the Special Protection of Children Against Abuse, Exploitation, and Discrimination Act. Let's go. It's under on the case of People versus Cabalquinto. Sa case na to, hinighlight yung importansya ng pagprotekta sa mga bata laban sa exploitation at in-emphasize yung mga legal measure na pwede nilang magamit o magawa under Republic Act 7610 to safeguard the children's rights against abuse and exploitation. Let's go with 59. Ang isang kumpanya ay tinanggal nila ang employee nila nang walang rason o valid na reason at hindi nagbigay ng due process sa pagtanggal. Walang due process at all, tinanggal ka na lang. So, anong labor principle ang na-violate sa senaryong to? So, that is A, the security of tenure. It's under the case of San Miguel Corporation versus NLRC, and this case exemplifies ang importansya ng principle ng security of tenure at ang necessity for the due process para sa mga pagtanggal sa mga empleyado. Let's go with 60. Ang isang buntis na empleyado ay na-demote sa managerial position. Ibig sabihin, mas bumaba yung position niya from managerial position sa low-ranking position. Dahil buntis siya, no? Anong legal recourse ang pwedeng magawa o ma-invoke ng isang employee na yon under Philippine law? So, yung he can file a complaint under Magna Carta for Women. That's C. That's B. Class, beforehand kasi, pag ikaw guro ka, kaya napakamahalaga talaga ng Magna Carta for Women na batas natin. One of the milestones in human rights education, because dati yung mga guro na nabubuntis na hindi kasal ay tinatanggal sa pwesto kasi that's immorality. And there is a school dito sa Cavite na ganun ang nangyari noong 2015. Actually, that's Catholic school. So, mga madre ang mga nag-supervise. And then, meron silang teacher na nabuntis na hindi kasal. Although, pananagutan naman siya ng lalaki. Pero, wala pa silang budget para magpakasal. So, ang ginawa nitong mga madre na to, at yung, syempre, may-ari ng school, because that, Scholastica ata yung school, tinanggal siya sa pwesto. And that's a violation of Magna Carta for Women. And nung dati, nung wala pang Magna Carta for Women, kahit you may ask your lola or lolo or yung mga magulang nyo, yung mga babae dati na walang, alam mo yon, walang asawa na buntis, immoral sa paningin ng mga tao. Tatanggalin ka sa pwesto kasi guru ka daw, dapat you are the one who have to show the morality among your students. And then, ba't nabuntis ka out of marriage and out of wedlock? Then yun. And dahil nga sa Magna Carta of Women is nabago yung sistema. Kasi kawawa naman yung babae. Para kang, alam mo yun, para kang na-double trouble Una, hindi ka pinanagutan ng lalaki na kabuntis sa'yo. Ikalawa, nung nabuntis ka, tinanggal ka sa trabaho, no? Paano mo nabubuhayin yung bata, no? So, malaking trouble dun sa babae. Kaya, because of the Magna Carta for Women, at least yung mga babae na hindi naman ganun ka talagang dihadong-dihado. Okay. It's under the case of Philippine Telegraph and Telephone Corporation versus NLRC. And this case highlights the protection of women's rights in the workplace, particularly during pregnancy, emphasizing the provision of Magna Carta for Women. Okay. 61. Ang isang bata ay na-rescue from a situation involving exploitation and abuse by the relative. So, minsan kasi yung mga kamag-anak pa yung okay, wait lang. Minsan kasi yung mga kamag-anak pa natin, yung mga nananakit sa kanila pag pinapaaral ka, no, tita mo, tapos, no. So, ako na namatay yung magulang, no, simba ko, tapos syempre ang aampon niyan yung mga nearest relatives. And then, here comes your tita or your kamag-anak, and then yun na nga, dahil nananakit, no, sinasaktan. So, ano yung law, no, na pwede na legal actions na pwede natin magawa for the protection of that child? Kasi bawal manakit, no? Even though na pinapakain mo yan, this sabing kamag-anak mo yan, hindi ka pwede manakit ng bata. And ibig sabihin, kahit nga anak mo, di ba? So that's, you may file a case under Special Protection of Children Against Abuse and Exploitation and Discrimination Act under Republic Act 760. It's under the case of People versus Rosal, kung saan pinakita yung importansya ng pag-invoke mo ng Republic Act 760. So, number 62, ang grupo ng mga empleyado ay nag-organize ng strike. No? Ang Tagalog ng strike yung... Ay, hirapan ako pag Tagalog eh. Yung strike, yung... Ano ba yung strike? Anak ng tinapay. Sorry. Yung... Basta strike, no? Alam niyo na. Medyo na ano ako pag Tagalog. Sorry. So, nag-organize sila ng strike, no? Kasi nga, hindi na, kunwari, sa pabrika sila nagtatrabaho, hindi na safe yung trabaho eh. May napuputulan ng kamay, may nasasaktan. So, nung nag-strike sila, welga ba yun? Yun, welga. Nung nag-welga sila, ang naging sagot sa kanila ng employer is, tinanggal sila sa pwesto. Grabe, no? Nag-welga ka nga because you're invoking your rights for your workers, right? Because the situation of your workplace is not that so safe for you and among of your co-workers. And then, tatanggalin ka, no? Ano yung na-violate na provision o principle under labor law? Siyempre, your right to strike. Kasi you have the right to strike. Okay? Kapag, class, ikaw ay empleyado ng pribado. Okay? Because, kapag public employee ka, katulad ng police, basta under ka ng public government, and then nagwelga ka, pwede ka it's tantamount for the termination of your employment. Pwede ka matanggal sa trabaho kasi you're government employee eh. And then, kapag iniwan mo yung trabaho mo, that's abandonment of your duty. Iniwan mo yung trabaho mo para lang magwelga ka, then, bawal yun. Kasi you are a public employee and then your job is about the welfare of the public, then pwedeng mapurnado yung trabaho, di ba? Yung siste ng gobyerno dahil ikaw ay nagwelga. Hindi katulad ng mga pribadong mga empleyado, pwede sila magwelga because that's under of labor law. Okay? Ang pumoprotekta kasi sa mga empleyadong pribado is yung labor law. Pagdating sa public, sa mga government employee, ang law na nagpoprotekta ng kanilang karapatan is the Civil Service Commission or the CSC, including their salaries, their benefits, and among others. Okay? So, tandaan nyo yun. Pwede magwelga ang private employee, ang public employee, or government employee ay hindi pwede. It's under the case of Manila Electric Company versus Quisumbing. Let's go with 63. Ang isang empleyadong babae ay dinenay yung promotion niya. So, mapopromote siya. Kasi pag when we say promotion, sa government kasi it's under application eh. Diba? Hindi katulad ng private na kapag nakita ka na you have the potential, pwedeng hindi ka na mag-apply, then they're going to ask you na promoted ka. Pero pag government, apply ka eh. No? And you have to show the facts that you're qualified for the another position na pagtaas ng position mo. That's your promotion. Pero hindi ka pinromote kasi babae ka daw. No? Dapat lalaki daw yung ma-promote kasi daw yung trabahong yun is pang lalaki and hindi daw kayo na babae and so on and so forth. So, anong legal na protection ang nagpoprotekta sa isang empleyadong babae under sa Philippine laws natin? So, that is, he could file Magna Carta for Women, a complaint under Magna Carta for Women. Okay. So, let's go with 64. Ang isang bata ay nakitang na-involve sa isang situation ng online exploitation. So, siya ay kinuurs, no? Pinilit na mag-perform ng mga bagay na hindi tama as an adult, no? So, anong legal measure ang pwede natin gawin para maprotektahan ang bata at makulong o makasuhan ng mga gumawa nun sa bata. So, he could file a case of under the Cybercrime Prevention Act. That cybercrime na ha, it's not RA 7610. Why? The online media is involved in the case. So, it's already cybercrime already. Okay? Let's go with 65. Which of the following is not considered a form of sexual harassment? Okay, ito na, malinaw na to. Ano sa mga sumusunod yung hindi sexual harassment? Again, class, ang sexual harassment ay ginagawa ng merong moral ascendancy. Ibig sabihin, mas mataas siya dapat sa'yo. So, kapag same level kayo, there's no sexual harassment at all. Kaya ang sagot dito, consensual relationship between co-workers. Kasi, magka-same level kayo eh. Magka-trabaho kayo, di ba? And there's no moral ascendancy at all. Maliban na lang kung dean mo yon or prop mo yon or boss mo yon o visor mo yon, supervisor mo yon or manager mo yon. So that's harassment. 66. Ano yung law na nagde-define ng sexual harassment sa workplace? And that's Republic Act 7877. 67. Medyo may pagka-application na siya. Ito. Ano yung mga following na action na pwede nating i-consider to retaliate under the Philippine law against ang employee na nag-report ng sexual harassment, no? Kunwari, ikaw yung employer and nag-report yung nagtatrabaho. So, mayroon po sexual harassment in this workplace. Then, among others, sa pagpipiliin, you can issue warnings or penalties against the victim for reporting. So, yung gumawa ng sexual harassment. So, you cannot never be tolerate that. Kasi, kapag tinolerate mo yan, kasama ka sa kaso. Parang ano yan eh, yung naging movie dati, yung parang Thai movie ata yun na may prop na video niya yung mga estudyante niya na naghuhubad pa yun. And then, pag may video na, ginagamit ng prop yun na yun, natakutin yung bata na pag ayaw makipag-sex, ikakalat ko yung video. And then, later on, pinoprotektahan din siya ng may-ari ng mismo school. So, di ba? Sa dawit-dawit sa kaso yan pag ganyan. 68. Anong legal obligation ng isang employer o yung pinagtatrabahuan mo sa Pilipinas kapag regarding sa prevent ng sexual harassment sa workplace? And then, obligasyon nila, syempre, they can provide the employer should provide an environmental free from sexual harassment. Hindi dapat yan tinotolerate ng mga employers natin. Okay, let's go with 69. Si John ay nagtatrabaho in a retail store for 3 months, no? He consistently works beyond the regular 8-hour shift without receiving any overtime pay. Grabe, no? And according to the Labor Code of the Philippines, what legal action could John take in this institution? Of course, John can demand compensation for overtime work or file a complaint against the employer for violation of labor law. Grabe, tatrabaho ko, wala man lang overtime pay, no? Kaloka. So, 70. Si Alisa ay isang office worker. So, he's been experiencing sexual advances from a colleague. So, ano to colleague, no? Siguro ka-work niya lang. She reported the incident to the employer, but no action was taken. What recourse does Alisa based on prevailing circumstance? So, anong pwede niyang gawin? He could, of course, file a complaint with company's HR department citing the lack of action after her initial report. So, let's go with 71. Carlos Agassi to, no? An employee was terminated from his job after filing a sexual harassment complaint against his manager. So, no, siya na yung nag-report na sexual harassment siya, pero siya yung tinanggal, no? Na sexual harassment siya ng manager niya, siya pa yung tinanggal. So, naniniwala siya na yung pagtanggal sa kanya is pagganti sa kanya dahil nagsumbong siya for sexual harassment. What legal principle was based on jurisprudence that support Carlos' claim? So, that is the doctrine of constructive dismissal. Let's go with 72. Si Sarah, isang factory worker, was subject to lewd comments and gesture by supervisor. Despite reporting the incidents to her employer, no action was taken. Sarah decided to resign due to hostile work environment. So, ano yung lewd comments and gesture? So, alam mo na yon, may pagkalibog yung sinasabi o yung mga ginagawa. Kunwari, bigla kang gaakbayang ganyan, no? Tapos parang, habang inaakbayan ka, pinipisil-pisil ka pa, no? So, talang, sa mo, punyetang to, no? Masensor tayo. Parang hindi na to tama, no? O kaya naman, yung comment na, ganda mo ngayon taba-taba ng pisngi mo, siguro mataba din yung ano mo. Ganon, okay? So, tangina naman ng manyakis, no? So, that's lewd comments. So, ang hirap mag-work sa ganon. And napaka-hostile talaga ng work environment pag akbayan ka bigla, tapos pisil-pisilin ka, tapos sasabihin, ganda ng mukha mo Ang swerte siguro ng mapapangasawa mo. Ina naman, no? O kaya naman yung simpleng sasabihin na, actually, ang pasok to yung sasabihin na, sir, ang pogi mo, yung prop, sasabihin niya, sir, ang pogi mo, mamang ganda mo. It's sexual harassment na. Okay, class? Kasi, ano yun parang catcalling na yun Okay? Ano pa kaya yung lewd yung comments? Kaya, iwasan nyo yung ganun, okay? Kasi class, kung type kayo niyan, sa mata pa lang, no? Makikita mo pa lang sa mata na may pag-asa ka. O wala, no? Pero pag pakita mo sa mata, tangin na, yung mata kulang na lang, tumirik dahil ayaw ko makita, no? So, tumirik man yan dahil gusto kang ewan. So, it depends. Pero kung alam mo naman kung pag-asa, tangin na naman, no? Huwag mo na ipilit sarili mo, okay? Kasi baka makasulan tayo ng sexual harassment. What legal concept? Takting sipon to sang buwan na ata to Dalawang linggo ba? Sa linggo? Ayop. Legal concept based on jurisprudence may apply to Sarah's situation. So, that's constructive dismissal. 73. Si Grace ay isang highly skilled engineer. Okay? So, nag-apply siya sa managerial position in engineering firm. Despite her qualification and years of experience, the hiring manager informed her na yung company daw, mas gusto nila ng lalaking manager. Grabe na. Discrimination agad. Because they perceive more assertive on commanding. Kasi pag lalaki. So, si Grace, nag-file siya ng complaint citing the Magna Carta for Women. So, what principles from Magna Carta for Women ay pwede may apply sa case na to? So, that's right to equal opportunities in workplace. Grabe naman yun. Bakit lalaki, no? So, pagka babae, di pwede maging manager. Okay. Sa Pilipinas, what is the legal stance towards women who become pregnant outside the marriage? So, sa Pilipinas ngayon ano yung legal stance natin sa isang babaeng nabuntis na hindi kasal? So, ngayon, sorry. Ngayon, that's C. There's no legal penalties for women getting pregnant outside of the marriage. Pero dati, pag buntis ka, tapos wala kang asawa, then matatanggal ka sa pwesto. Pero ngayon, walang penalty yun. Pwede ka mabuntis. Lalo na ngayon, hindi na uso ata yung kasal, no? Kasi they prefer na makilala na muna. Kasi, when we say kasal, when we say marriage, that is lifetime imprisonment. Grabe, no? Grabe naman yun, ma'am. Lifetime imprisonment agad. Yes. Totoo naman, di ba? Buti nga sa sa lifetime, buti nga sa reclusion perpetua class. kahit ang kulong mo 20 to 40 years, pagdating ng 30 years, may automatic pardon ka sa presidente eh. Pero pag kasal ka, lifetime imprisonment yun. So kahit 50 years na hindi ka makakawala sa kasal. Diba? Kahit may iba ka na, hindi ka na nakatira dun sa babae, hindi ka na nakatira sa lalaki, kasal pa rin kayo, gosh, diba? Tapos, kahit 100 years na, kasal pa rin kayo. Unless may mamatay sa isa sa inyong dalawa, then dyan ka lang makakalaya sa lifetime imprisonment na yan. No? Charot. And, 75. Ang garment factory sa Pilipinas ay nakita ang nag-employ ng mga bata. Actually, bawal yun eh. Bawal kang tumatanggap ng mga empleyadong minor de edad. Okay? Tapos, yung mga babae pa, hindi pa safe yung working condition. Tapos kung hindi pa safe, may wala pang hazard pay, no? And, yon, hindi pa sinusweldo ng tama at hindi nagbibigay ng tamang benepisyo. So, anong legal framework ng batas natin ang nagpe-pertain sa human rights ng Pilipinas at na-violate sa example na to? That's the Republic Act number 7610 of Special Protection of Child Against Abuse, Exploitation, and Discrimination Act. Okay. Ma'am, bakit yun ang sagot? Ang daming na-violate. Una, na-violate ang labor code. Na-violate yung tamang pasweldo. Yung Magna Carta for Women. Halos lahat eh. Ba't yun ang sagot? Plus, pag ganyan ang siste, sa isang question, madami ang sagot, maraming case ang involved, at kailangan isa lang ang sagot mo. Siyempre, ang pipiliin mo yung pinaka malupit at pinaka malala ang penalty, and that's exploitation and abuse sa mga bata. That's Republic Act 7610. Walang pinagkaiba yan pag nambugbog ka ng minor de edad. 2 kaso, di ba? That's physical injuries and child abuse. Pero piliin dapat natin ang penalty na child abuse. And that's child abuse ang kikaso. Ganon din sa exam and board exam. 76. In construction company, female workers report facing sexual harassment from their supervisor. O, tingnan nyo, pag sexual harassment, supervisor lang, ha? Okay? Yung mga higher pa sa'yo. So, pag same level, there's no sexual harassment. When underage children are found to be working in hazardous condition, may harassment na, may mga bata pa, and yung mga workers nagko-complain about being paid below minimum wage. Ang daming problema, no? May sexual harassment, may mga bata pa, may mga di pa pinapasweldohan. So, what legal provision of law related to the human rights in the Philippines are being violated in the construction company? Sinabi ko na kanina, pag marami ang violated sa isang example, piliin mo yung pinakamalaki ang penalty, and that is Republic Act 9231 or Special Protection of Children Against Children Against Child Abuse, Exploitation, and Discrimination Act. 77. Ang isang kumpanya nag-ooperate sa Pilipinas, na-discover nila na may policy na yung mga babaeng empleyado dapat mag-resign pag naikasal or when they were become pregnant. Additionally, the company does not promote maternity leave benefits, which legal provision or law related to the human rights in the Philippines are being violated in the company. Grabing kumpanya yan. Pag nabuntis, tas pinakasal, tanggal na yung babae. Ano yan? Beer house? Kahit nga sa beer house, di ba? May makikita ka pang buntes na hindi tinatanggal eh, no? Yung may mga sa beer house ng tatrabaho na kasal, no? Ano ba klaseng kumpanya to, no? So, balik tayo. So, ano yung provision na na-violate? Siyempre, yung Magna Carta for Women. Tandaan nyo yan, Magna Carta for Women. Jessica, 78 na tayo. Asang teenager na naka-experience ng online harassment and threats through social media, through platforms. Tinatakot siguro siya, no, sa Facebook. Anong bata sa Pilipinas ang nagko-cover ng cyberbullying and online harassment, especially in case involving women and children? That is Republic Act 10175 or Cyber Prevention Act of 2012. Like, anti-sexual harassment, yun na nga yun, pag bossing mo or mas mataas sa'yo. Anti-photo and voyeurism, may bold kayo. Tapos, kinalat mo. No? Kahit sabihin naman na pumayag siyang ikalat mo, punyeta ka, ba't mo kinalat? That is Anti-Photo and Video Voyeurism Act. Okay? Kahit sabihin, bold mo yun, gago ka pa. Ano kinakalat mo? Di ba tayo masisensor dito sa YouTube pag nagmumura? Okay. And Special Protection Children Against Abuse and Exploitation Discrimination Act. Hindi naman yan, obvious naman yan. Syungakan na pag yan ang sinagot mo. Ano ka talaga ng tinapay, no? Ano ka talaga ni Cesar Lombroso. 79. Maria ay isang biktima ng domestic violence. Ay nagsisik ng Okay. Nagsisik ng assistance from barangay or local community para sa protection order laban sa kanyang isang mapang-abusong punye na asawa. So, anong legal instrument sa Pilipinas ang magpo-provide na protection sa isang babae sa mga sitwasyong ganito? Binubugbog ka, inaabuso ka ng asawa mo, that's bawsi. Minsan nga, di ba? Ito talaga ha. Kaya kayong mga lalaki kayo, maging di ba? Kasi ang daming karapatang nagpo-protekta sa babae unlike sa inyo. Okay? Nakina pagka nga lang, pagka nasaktan mo nga lang yung feelings yan, bawsi ka niya, Bakit? Mo tomboy ka, no? I'm not against of any of the other gender, but if you're tomboy and then nananakit ka, that's bawsi. Okay? Alam mo ba't bawsi? Akala ko ba pag lalaki at babae? No! Ang sinabi kasi sa bawsi, dapat ang biktima mo babae. So regardless man sino nananakit sa'yo, kung babae din, bawsi. Okay? And kailangan merong dating relationship or nagsisex. Ang nagsisex, bawsi yun. Grabe na. Ang torrid ko naman da. Okay. Alam nyo na yan, Republic Act 9262. You know the drill, girls. Bawsi. Kaya, dapat dapat gumawa din ng kilusan or party list na nagpoprotekta sa mga lalaki, no? Yung, magkais. Pero, why is that so, no? Kasi, ang mga lalaki, they have the capacity to protect themselves. And malakas sila, no? Ano bang laban ng babae? Siya malakas ng lalaki. Kaya, mas maraming law ang nagpo-protect sa babae. And for God's, sorry, for heaven's sake, no? Ang tagal na tayong, ang tagal na panahon na hindi kinilala ang karapatan ng mga babae. So, it's time to shine. Okay. 80. In school human rights education program, students learns about their rights, including their protection against child labor and exploitation, which 81? Okay. Which international human rights document especially address children's rights and protection against child labor. Grabe, may Convention on Rights on Child pala, no? So, Convention on Rights of Child, that's international law. And according to Article of the Philippine Constitution, any law that's been signed, which is internationally law, should be ratified in the Philippines. Shit. Nakakabuang talaga ang CLJ. Okay. 81. Isang kumpanya ay dinenay ang karapatan ng mga taong mag-break. Oh my gosh, nakakain na lang. Ayaw nyo pang pag-break. And so, totoo to, nangyari to. During their shifts and impose excessive overtime without proper compensation. Ito din minsan po niyatas din yung mga pasaway din yung mga employer. Pag alam din nila, yung mga trabador nila, kailangan ng pera, di ba? So, inaabuso nila, no? Grabe, hindi na nga nila pinapaso ng tama, wala pang breaks, wala pang overtime, anak ng tinapay. So, imposes excessive overtime without proper compensation. Anong batas sa Pilipinas na nagpoprotekta ng mga rights and workers regarding on the breaks, rest periods, and fair compensation? You know the drill, no? Common Knowledge Wage Rationalization Act, that is C. Ako, pag mali ka pa dito, hindi ko na alam sa'yo. 82. What is the primary mandate of International Criminal Court? No? Nakwenta ko na yan, no? Yung, ang previous stand and latest stand ng ICC sa atin, no, sa war on drugs ni former President Duterte. So, ano ang ginagawa ng mandato ng ICC? That to prosecute individuals for war crimes against humanity and genocide. So, may kulang pa dito, no? War on aggression. 8.3. What are the significant action taken by the Philippines concerning its relationship with International Criminal Court? So, pag sinabi mong significant, parang mahalaga, no? Or latest. So, that is the withdrawal of Philippines on the Rome Statute, including the leave on the ICC. Nag-withdraw kasi si former President Duterte noong March 2018 after 2 years of his interim in the Philippines as a president, kasi nagsimula ang step 1 ng ICC noong February. So after 1 month leave, no? Tapos kaya walang jurisdiction kuno. Okay? Pero ngayon nagbalita kahapon sa TV, mayroon dong gusto daw ni President Marcos right now na at pinag-aaralan nila na bumalik ulit sa ICC, na nagbabalik loob ang Pilipinas. Why not, 'di ba? And yeah, talagang obvious naman na si President Marcos right now ay kung babalik siya, talagang he is upholding the human rights in the Philippines, unlike his father. Okay? Okay. 84. How have tama bang English to? How have human rights organizations criticized the approach taken by the Philippine government in addressing drug-related issue? So, paano yung naayos ng Pilipinas ang issue ng drug-related cases, no? Alam niyo na yun. That's C. No? Ano yung mga criticism pala ng mga human rights organizations sa ginagawa ng gobyerno ngayon sa mga drug-related cases? That's C. Kinukondina nila yung mga alleged. Kung sinabi mong alleged, di pa sure, okay? Alleged pa lang. Kasi wala pa namang final, di ba? Final formality or final thing ang ating korte kasi wala pa namang kaso. Then that's alleged human rights violations, including the extrajudicial killings, war on drugs, and government campaign anti-drugs campaign. 85. Kung kanina ang tanong, ano yung reaksyon ng mga human rights organization sa ginagawa ng war on drugs sa Pilipinas? 85. Ano ang reaksyon ng international human rights bodies sa mga drug-related situations sa Pilipinas? So, maraming namamatay when it comes to drugs. So, C, they raise concern, okay? And condemn the alleged human rights violation, including extrajudicial killings, urging investigation and accountability. Diba? Diba? Hindi lang naman tayo ang humahabol. Kaya nga, diba, ang kaso pumunta na sa ICC. And hindi lang naman Pilipinas ang humahabol dito, even though the other states, members of the Rome Statute. Kasi, our former president on the other, yung nakaraang term, is saying, shoot them in front of Philippine TV. Hindi lang naman tayo nakakapanood, no? Ang dami naman, di ba? So, nababalitaan na rin ng ibang bansa na, patayan pala dire sa Pilipinas. No? So, they raise concern, no? So, sila pa urge, may lamok pa. Sorry. Sila nag-urge na imbestigahan. Okay. Aba, 86. How have human rights advocates naman, no? An organization responded to the approach of the Philippine government addressing drug-related issues. So, ano naman yung masasabi ng mga drug human rights advocates organizations? And that's C. Kinikriticize nila the approach, highlight the concern about alleged human rights abuses, including extrajudicial killings, and advocate for more rights-respecting approach. 87. If someone is involved in a drug-related case in the Philippines, what should they do to invoke their rights involved during legal process? So, kung ikaw ay involved ka sa mga drug-related case sa Pilipinas, so anong i-invoke mong karapatan mo? So, that's one of the importance of human rights education. You should know the rights. Of course, you have to ascertain your right. No, that's to remain silent and ask for legal counsel immediately upon arrest or investigation. Uulan na ata ako dito. which international human rights treaties has been ratified by the Philippines and directly integrated into domestic legal system, allowing individuals to invoke their provision before local courts. Ito, class ha, kailangan pag nagbabasa ka, nagigets mo ha, kasi that's yung that's board exam ha, that malaki, mabilis kang makaka-catch up and your reading comprehension is talagang pack na pack, no? Kasi pagka kahit anong gawin ko dito, kahit magtumambling pa ako, kung yung binasa mo, di mo na-gets, malaking problema mo, okay? So, that's B, International Covenant of Civil and Political Rights. That's international law din It's been ratified in the Philippines. Dami ng mga international nakakapunyas. Charot. 89, in the recent case ng Supreme Court in the Philippines, ang group ng mga indigenous people ay nag-file ng petition against the government para sa violate ng kanilang right to cultural identity and ancestral domain. So, pwedeng yung mga lugar nila pinagbabako ng gobyerno, no? Pinatoy ng gusali, kanilang cultural identity ay nasisira, no? The court ruled in favor of the indigenous group, citing the provision of International Human Rights Treaty that the Philippines has ratified. So, anong international law treaties naman yon na na-ratify sa Philippines? That's United Nations Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People, or UNDRIP. UNDRIP. So, that's D. Nauulit na. Charot. 90. In promoting human rights education among cultural minorities in the Philippines, what approach would be the most effective to ensure cultural sensitivity while educating these communities about their rights? So we have to tailor educational materials and approach respect and incorporate the cultural values and practice of minority groups. That's B. Okay. 91 na rin, no? Antayin natin yung minsan ni ma'am para yung 1 to 50 naman. What is the fundamental benefit of incorporating human rights education tailored to cultural minorities in the Philippines? We have to empower cultural minorities to understand and assert their rights within the framework of their tradition. That's B. Dalawa 92? Ay, 92 na pala. Which international human rights principle might the court have applied in the case to protect the rights of cultural minority group? That's right to cultural participation and expression. In an effort to promote human rights education among cultural minorities in the Philippines, a local NGO developed a program especially tailored to the needs of remote indigenous community. The program aimed to empower the community by teaching them about their rights while respecting their cultural practices. Ang tanong, wala pa palang tanong, what could be the key focus area of human rights education program for indigenous community? So that's C. Incorporating traditional custom and practices into education program while teaching about their rights. Naulan na. So 94. What might be crucial factor in success of human rights education program tailored to indigenous community? So, engaging community elders and leaders to guide and endorse the program. Aralin nyo to ha. Aralin nyo to ha. Hindi ganito pagkasunod ng rationalization to ha. Sinabing 100% ha. A company in the Philippines launches a human rights education initiative for its employees, especially focusing on labor rights, fair treatment, and workplace equality. Minsan kasi sa mga mismo trabaho mo, pa-seminar sa human rights, diba? So, bakit? To ensure na ang mga employer ay naintindihan nila yung mga kanilang karapatan at kanilang responsibilidad para protektahan din yung karapatan ng kanilang mga katrabaho, no? That's B. A trade union in the Philippines initiate a human rights education campaign among its member focusing on labor rights, workplace safety, and fair wages. So, anong primary goal nito? Siyempre, B, to equip members with knowledge about their rights and advocate for better working condition. 97. Ito na sa mga custodial investigation na to ha, during police investigation in the Philippines, a suspect taken into custody for questioning regarding on a criminal offense. So, anong karapatan ng taong yun under custodial investigation? Ang na-stipulate sa law. Kailangan meron siyang karapatang to remain silent and to have a counsel. So, bibigyan na ng criminology yan. That's Mahinay and Miranda. Okay? 98, ang person na under custodial investigation sa Pilipinas has the right to remain silent and to have a counsel during questioning. As per law, what is the significance, ang importansya ng Miranda Doctrine sa konteksto ng custodial investigation? Pag custodial investigation, under ng custody ng mga polis ang investigation. So, ang importante nito, nare-remind o napapaalalahanan yung mga law enforcers natin na i-inform yung suspect na sa kanilang karapatan bago ang interrogation o sa pag-aresto, di ba? Let's see. 99. Ano ang legal provision sa Pilipinas ang nagpoprotekta ng iyong karapatan under custodial investigation? Biblia na yan. Kailangan pa bang i-memorize yan? That's Republic Act 7438. 100, no? During police interrogation, a suspect is arrested and brought to the station for questioning regarding to the serious crime. Anong karapatan must a law enforcement official inform the suspect or before conducting custodial investigation? Kailangan sabihin mo sa kanya or inform mo ang nature ng offense at ang kanyang karapatang manahimik. That's it. Okay, wait nyo yung part 1 ha. Antayin ko lang yung send sa akin ni ma'am. Ayoko nang pa. So, yeah, bye. Thank you. Sana pumasa.